Hi everyone, so we are now looking at how to get started, and you should have the assignment that says week 13, even though it might not be week 13 for you, assignment 3. And now nothing is separated, everything is going to be fully put together. So for every problem we will be factoring completely. So there are no clues. Is it just the GCF? Maybe it's just 2 terms or 3 terms, who knows. So every problem I will make sure it's in standard form. I'll make sure my line leader is always positive, and then I'll be checking for 2 terms and 3 terms. So to get you started, I'm just going to look at a couple different problems to get you going. All right? So maybe the first problem I take a look at is 2. So the first thing I'm going to look at 2 is there a GCF? So I first start with the numbers 3, 8, and 5. And is there a number that goes into all of them? So I would normally check with 3, but 3 doesn't go into either of these. And as it turns out, anything smaller than 3 besides 1 doesn't go into 3, 8, or 5. Then I look at the A's. This has 2 A's. This has 1 A. This doesn't have any. So I can't take A's from everybody. So as it turns out, this doesn't have a GCF. Taking 1 out doesn't do anything. So since this is skipped, we'll go to 3 terms. We're going to make our X and go for factoring there. So I'm going to make my loop. So on the top is 15 with A squared. My 8A goes in the bottom. And when I look at 15 in my list of factors, 3 and 5 get me to 8. 1 and 15 don't. So I'll put a 3 and a 5. And since these are positive, that means everything's positive. So I can actually go straight to my parentheses, put A's in. Now if you switch it to X's, no big deal. But this term and this term make 3A squared. And the A and the A are the A squared. So I just need 3 and 1 to multiply to make the 3. So now I'm going to make the top of my head and my smile. These aren't needed. Their job is to make the 3A and the 5A. So this is what I need. And while 1 can give me both of these, 3 can only give me one of these. It can only give me the 3A. So 3 times what makes 3A? Well, that's just 1. So that takes care of the 3A. So that means 1A times something will have to make 5A. And since the A is already there for 5A, I just want to know 1 times what makes 5, and that's a positive 5. So this one is done. We have factored it completely. All right, let's take a look at 6. Do I want to do 6? Sorry, I gotta think. Yeah, let's do 6. So the first thing I'm gonna look at is there a GCF? So the first thing I look at is 9 and 15. So 9 is smaller, but it doesn't go into 15. So now I'm gonna look at numbers smaller than 9. And 3 will go into both of those. And then since this has 2 B's and this has 1 B, I can take a B from each term. And now I'm ready to fill in my parentheses. So 3 times what makes 9 is 3. And while there were 2 B's and I took 1 away, now I have 1 left. And then 3 times what makes the negative 15? Well, that would be a negative 5. And this one had a B, but I took it all away. So now that I've done GCF, since there are 2 terms left in my parentheses, I'm going to see if this is a difference of squares. So when I look, there are 2 terms and there's the difference, but 3B and 5 are not perfect squares. They do have square roots, but they're not nice numbers. I don't know what the square root of 5 is, and I don't know what the square root of 3 is. So this problem is done. The only thing we could do was the GCF. Here's one factor, the GCF, and here's the other factor. So this problem is done. And that's how you're going to go through all the problems, all right? So pay attention to your cheat sheet, okay? And don't expect to do everything. Sometimes you won't be able to do this, and sometimes you'll be able to do both things. It just depends.